Stories about people.
Stories about life. Hometown stories. This is the heart of Okinawa's bustling city, Naha. Surrounded by new buildings and condos, there's a place where time seems to have stood still. A tin-roofed barrack. This is a 65-year-old Noren Central Market. The market has remained essentially the same since it first opened. It reminds people of Okinawa's good old days. Just like the market itself, the ladies who work there have gotten older, but they're still busy. During World War II, Okinawa was reduced to ashes. The Noren market first began as a post-war black market. It bustled with activity and became known as a symbol of Okinawa's restoration. However, because of deterioration and redevelopment, the market is going to be torn down and relocated to a new commercial complex. In the face of this dramatic change, some have decided to quit altogether. A market full of difficulties and joy, preparing to close for good. We follow the stories of grandmas marking the end of an era. As the rest of Naha sleeps, the Noren market starts its day. Various fresh vegetables are being carried in. The products don't have prices on them. The prices are determined through negotiations between vendors and buyers. The morning exercise program on the radio echoes around the market. But everybody's busy working, except 92-year-old Kiku Arakaki, who's quietly doing the routine. She's quite a character and the oldest grandma working at this market. The radio exercise is played just for her. Kiku has been working here for 60 years. The place facing the alley is her spot. It's where she sells her vegetables. When a customer orders 300 grams of burdock, she adds another 100 grams. It's a simple courtesy she's been doing for years.
基本はね、愛情か、愛情。お客様はね、神様だよ。ね、みんな神様だからね。この人に会ったらね、この人にサービスして、またこの人に会ったらこっちのサービスして、みんなにサービスしてあげる。みんなに。
She even personally delivers her bags filled with burdock. She's known the people around the market for much of her life. Kiku always decides the delivery timing. For breakfast, Kiku's having tempura, something she received in return for the little extra she gives. It's about 1.5 months to go before the Noren Central Market will be relocated. The market is moving to a new commercial complex that's being built next to it. Kiku receives a notice. It contains the cost details for the new facility. The new rent is about $300 per month. Not only will her rent increase, but she will also have to pay additional maintenance costs, including air conditioning and escalator fees. It's a major burden for Kiku, who makes about $700 per month. The passing of an era is upon them, and they must prepare for the inevitable changes that are coming. More than 70 years ago, a quarter of the people who lived on the islands died in the Battle of Okinawa. The Noren Central Market was built 8 years after the war in 1953. Under American rule, it first saw the light of day as a black market where people brought in food. Back then, the products flew off the shelves because food was scarce. The market quickly expanded. And this success couldn't have been possible without the support of the women of Okinawa, including war widows. they worked as vendors to provide for their families. Kiku still uses a scale she bought in 1973, the year after Okinawa was returned to Japanese rule. The women had to buy new scales because the reversion meant the weight units also changed.
大事にしたら壊れないよ。ちょっと錆びたかなと思ったらね、ペーパーでやってね、ペンキ塗るわけ。
Kiku also treasures this watching place where women used to exchange business information.
足元通られないぐらい人がたくさんいる。これはこんな世界なんだよ、あっちはまたこんな品物上等入っていたよって言って教えたり何したりするでしょ。これが一番思い出さ、これがもうこれが思い出忘られませんぐらいね、もう思い出あるよね。それはね。
Women of the time faced a number of struggles. Kiku also had her share of hardships during and after the war. As the Battle of Okinawa raged, she was pregnant and walked 100 kilometres before giving birth to her eldest son in an American internment camp. During the chaotic post-war years, she hopped from one job to another because it was hard to find stable employment. In the end, she began working at the Noren market to support her 5 children. There, she met women with similar stories. They've always supported each other, even during difficult times.
殺した経験のある人たちがね、みんな集まってるからね、人の哀れみもね、知るようになってるからね、みんな人を愛するわけさ。みんな助けられつつやりました。こんな人生をね、歩んできました。この荒垣のおばは。
Whenever Kiku receives something, she always shares it with her fellow vendors. The bond between the women is still very much alive at the market. It's what supported them in the difficult post-war years. There's 2 weeks left until the original Noren market will shut its doors forever. A contractor working on the relocation shows up. He's come to remind the women to start preparing for the move.
週末に今週ね、台風が来てます。なので、できれば早めにあっちに移れるんだったら移ってほしいんですよね。はい。これまでにね。なるべくこの辺ぐらいまでになるので、じゃあこれでミックスなるべくはい。
うちなんかだけあっち移ってもお客さん来るかねと思って。
こっちよりもあっちの方がお客さんは来やすいと思います。
そうですか。
Kiku wants to see the new commercial complex before she moves there. Her shop will be in this small space. With walls and a narrow front, she's worried she won't be able to display her vegetables the way she's always done. Kiku shares her concerns about the new place with her fellow vendors.
아,
71-year-old Etsuko Oshiro listens to Kiku's complaints. Through the years, she's often served as the advisor. But when the relocation story came out, she decided to quit the business.
100% 지무후지 이주시야 우란도인데 모르는 거라야 한나지 누가라 이지티 준데 민나야 아또 이치니까네 시부 사시가야 세츠비 시카라야 야민 와키니 이칸토 사이쇼카라 와야 이칸 주다.
Etsuko began working at the Noren market with her husband nearly half a century ago. They slowly grew their business together as they raised 4 children. But Etsuko lost her husband 4 years ago, and ever since then, she's been managing the shop by herself. Today, her shop deals with the largest variety of vegetables at the market. Plus, Etsuko loves to care for others. She even goes to pick up the vegetables herself if the farmer can't deliver them.
すごく助かってます。はい。もうね、那覇まで行くっていうのはやっぱし遠いし。
Etsuko will quickly check with other shops for vegetables she doesn't have. Even if there's no profit in it, customers come first.
3Lも5や1枚あるはいありますやっぱり必要とすればね探してあげたいしもう仕事だから自分の仕事だから
Etsuko wanted to continue her business at the new commercial complex, but she couldn't afford the monthly costs to maintain her big shop. There was no choice but to retire. One day, Etsuko receives a visit from someone she hasn't seen for 10 years. It's 88-year-old Shizuko Nohara. She ran a restaurant at the market for more than 50 years, but closed it a decade ago. She heard the market was being torn down, so she came back to see people to cheer them up.
元気でありがとう。お元
頑張ってよ。
すごいいい話だよ。よかったね。
元気。
はい、ありがとう。
姉ちゃん頑張ってる。頑張ってますよ。見たいね。こっちにいたよ今。
Shizuko used to take care of Etsuko's children at her restaurant. The two were very close.
朝いらっしゃってる。
はい。
運送で。
運送で。
ねんちゃん。元気ね。元気。懐かしいね。頑張ってよ。
もう元気
元気。
会う時もあるね。
生きてたら会う時もあるね。
本当だね。
頑張ってよ。新しい千葉になっても頑張って。ノレン千葉繁盛させてよ。
だからね。いいサービス行ったりしてる。
一日越し行ってる。
Etsuko suddenly changes the subject. And then she opens up about her decision.
私は、頑張ってるさ。
本当に。などなんかクワンちゃんみんな大きくなってるから、マーがもう大きくなってるから、もうえっちゃんもそろそろ卒業しようかねと思ってノーレン。
卒業やらない。いつまでも頑張って、頑張ってね。ノーレン千葉繁盛させて。
だからね。
ノーレン千葉はね、潰さないよ。みんなですぐ盛り上げて。ノーレン千葉はね、いつまでも残して。
だからね。思うけどよ。
頑張ってよ。
本当に。本当に。
Etsuko feels reluctant about leaving the Noren market.
自分たちのやっぱり代はもう終わりかなと思います。デパートの地下みたいなイメージになるよっていう話も聞こえたもんだから、あ、そんなだったら自分たちがやっていけないねって、もう仕方ないですよそれは。もう世の中がそんなになってきてるし、自分たちも年いくし。
From the 65 vendors, about 20 have decided to quit the market. Today is the Noren market's final day. Etsuko is working, just like every other morning.
今できたよ、はい。もう本当にありがとうね、ご苦労さんね。はい。
電話するね。電話すんだ。電話すんだ。
The scale she's been using for more than 40 years broke a few days ago.
もう抜けてるでしょ、ほら。台が抜けてしまってる。ね。もう、はかりも一緒に卒業します。はかりも一緒に卒業するってなったから、はかりも抜けてこないだ、もう笑ってさ、だから。 これも今は消毒かねと思って。
できるだけ
ありがとうね。頑張ってよ。ね。ありがとうございます。自分の人生ノーレンで始まってノーレンでもう今日終わりますんで、もうみんなに親切にしてもらって可愛がってもらって本当にもう幸せだったと思ってます。
The new Noren market opens its doors. The 120 or so shops include many new ones, such as cafes and Japanese izakaya pubs. It's also a fresh new start for Kiku. She cuts her vegetables in the back of the shop. With the front of the shop so far away, she doesn't notice her regular customers call.
みんな一ところになって上等さ。みんな一ところになって上等さ。食堂になっとったんかまんかいことよ。もろはね。もっと大きいのと持ってくるもんだけど。
Kiku visits one of the shops close to hers, which sells flowers.
お願いしますね。
Kiku received permission to use the flower shop's water because there's no communal washing place at the new market. She has to make several trips to fill her wash tub. And then she begins the same task she's been doing for decades. After Kiku wraps up her first day, she goes back to the flower shop to thank them. And as usual, she shares whatever she receives.
キクさん、どうもありがとうございます。頑張りましょうね。新しい頑張ろうね、今からね。
頑張りましょうね。
素晴らしいお店できたのにみんな。
そうそうそう。家族だよ。そう。
家族。
家族だよ、こっちは。
The grandmas have bravely lived through the ups and downs of post-war Okinawa. After years of cooperation and friendship, a new chapter begins.
何十年間の付き合い
何十年の付き合い